Very pleased at this great start that we have on transit from the federal government. We have been advocating for many, many years for a permanent federal government transit strategy. We were the only country in the G7 that did not have a national transit strategy, and now we've got one, which is terrific. You know, I've been saying for some months now that whoever gets cities right, whoever gets transit right, gets to win seats in the cities. Whoever gets to win seats in the cities gets to be Prime Minister. And so I'm very happy to see that the Government of Canada is following through on this, and I'm very, very interested to see how Mr. Trudeau and Mr. Mulcair react, and I'd love to see their plans for transit as well. Now, one more thing, sorry. Remember that the plan that the Government of Canada has put in is a cost-sharing plan. The City of Calgary has put $1 billion on the table for transit investments. Now it's time for the province to come to the table as well. So as we go through a provincial election, I'm really interested to know what the parties think about their transit plans. In the case of the current government, when will they fund phase 2 and phase 3 of the Green Trip program? How can we start expecting those monies to flow? And for the opposition, what are your ideas on dedicated transit for the big cities?
Mayor, is there any concern that the $750 million won't be coming into effect until at least 2018?
Sure, there are two concerns with this project. One is, of course, it's not enough money. So for the City of Calgary, for example, to be able to build the Green Line LRT so the trains are running on that thing by 2015 will mean somewhere between $1.5 and $2 billion from the federal government, for Calgary alone. Obviously, this program is not going to get us there, but it's a start. And hopefully we can pump that with more money as the economy improves. The second issue is that it is back-end loaded. So it starts with $250 million a year, which is, for the big cities of Canada, really not very much. In 2017, $500 million in 2018, but then going to $1 billion in 2019 and forever thereafter. And that's the important thing, is the federal government today made a commitment that this will be a permanent source of funding. And that helps a lot, because when I look at a project like the Green Line, let's say $3.5 billion, I'd love it if someone showed up with a check for $3.5 billion today. It's not going to happen. But if I have a permanent source of funding for which I can take out a mortgage on the Green Line and know that I have money and I don't have to go to the property tax to pay that back, that's a very good thing. It's what we've been asking for. And so on the side of transit, I'm quite pleased with where the federal government is today.
On first blush, it appears this is going, I think I read that it's going to be all come through P3 Canada. Your thoughts on that? And hopefully it's not getting a no.
No, I believe that is not actually the case. The language that I read in the budget basically said there must be some private sector involvement, but it left that quite vague, and that's the right thing to do. In some cases, P3 Canada is the right mechanism. In some cases, a P3, a public-private partnership not involving P3 Canada, is the right mechanism. In some cases, different things, but let's put it this way. We don't build these things ourselves. The private sector is always building. The question is who owns and operates them. And that's what we will figure out. And I think it's appropriate for the federal government to ask us what our level of private sector involvement